morning, happy Friday. I know some of you guys didn't get a chance to turn in your assignment from yesterday, so when we're done with this morning, we'll open that back up and you guys can have some time to get that submitted with your poems that you have been working on in Canva, to submit it to Canvas. But today, we have a fun activity that we're gonna do. We're gonna learn about some new people that I'm gonna introduce you guys to along the way, but we're continuing our unit on identity, all right? So you guys have an opportunity to define identity as a class. We learned that it is our sense of who we are as individuals and as member of social groups. It also refers to our sense of how others may perceive and label us. So today I really want you to focus on that sense of how others may perceive and label us when it comes in terms to our identity, all right? So, like I said, this whole unit is about you guys getting to learn me more, and learn a little bit more about yourselves, and then also, you know, starting to put a little bit of pen to pad about those perspectives as we learn about identity. Good morning. Thank you. Good morning. All right, so what's next? Today we're gonna read a poem called, or we did our poem, sorry, I'm From, that you guys did a great job on. Can't wait to read some of those that I did not get a chance to read yet. But today we're moving on to someone else that has worked in that space. Does anybody know who Maya Angelou is? Raise your hand. Oh, great. Who else? Raise your hands if you know who Maya Angelou is, or heard of Maya Angelou. Those 3 people. Okay, so, thank you. So today we're gonna learn about Maya Angelou a little bit. I have some background information, and then we'll move on. So pay attention to the video.
I think the volume is off. No, on the computer. On the computer.
She is impossible to define. An author, a poet, a civil rights activist, an actress, a dancer. Marguerite Johnson was born in St. Louis, Missouri in 1928. When her parents divorced, she was sent with her brother to live with her grandmother in racially segregated Stamps, Arkansas.
Black people depended upon other black people for sustenance, all sorts of sustenance, social, economic, religious sustenance.
As a child, she formed a strong bond with her brother, who gave her the nickname Maya. She was taught by her grandmother to celebrate life to the fullest. She would need to keep her grandmother's positive messages handy when at age 7, she was molested by her mother's boyfriend. She only told her brother, but a few days later, the attacker turned up dead. Believing her words had killed the man,
I stopped speaking for 5.5 years. I simply refused to speak. I had voice, but I refused.
When she spoke again, she and her brother joined her mother in San Francisco. She won a scholarship to study dance and drama. While she was in San Francisco, her progressive political views began to form. At the age of 16, after quitting high school briefly to become San Francisco's first African-American cable car operator, She returned to her studies. During her senior year, she became pregnant. She gave birth to her son, Guy, and supported him working as a waitress and a cook. In 1952, she married Greek sailor Tosh Angelus and traded in her waitress uniform for a microphone. She became a singer, taking the name Maya Angelou. The marriage didn't last, but her career flourished, landing a role in the stage production of Porgy and Bess and recording the album Calypso Lady in 1957. Although she had always penned lyrics and poetry, she finally began pursuing her writing more seriously. She moved to Harlem and joined the Harlem Writers Guild.
She learned how to overcome the limitations and the challenges of her youth to achieve stardom as an artist and a writer.
Her unique journey continued when she moved to Cairo, Egypt, with her then love interest, South African civil rights activist Vusumuzi Maki. She served as the editor of the English language weekly, The Arab Observer, before moving to Ghana to work as editor for the Ghanaian Times. In 1964, Angelou returned to America to help her friend Malcolm X build his organization of African American Unity. Those plans were scrapped when Malcolm X was assassinated in 1965. The assassination of Martin Luther King Jr. in 1968 left her devastated. But along with the great joys and painful lows she had experienced, her rich life served as the inspiration for her memoir, I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings. Published in 1970, covering the early years of her life, it was a critical and commercial triumph. In the following years, more books followed, including 4 more volumes of her autobiography.
By the 1980s and 90s, America as a whole, regardless of race, had a profound appreciation of her talents as an artist, as a poet, and writer. And so now she is widely seen as a national treasure.
In 1993, she was asked by incoming President Bill Clinton to compose a poem which she would recite at the inauguration. Since 1981, she has served as a Reynolds Professor of American Studies at Wake Forest. And she has still found time to act in films and even host a radio show on Oprah Winfrey's XM radio network.
This is what Ivy League universities you can get into.
Alright, so that's Maya Angelou in a nutshell. Most of you guys hopefully picked up that she was a writer and a famous poet. But I really want you to pay attention to her life story and her experiences. So we've been talking about that when we did our I Am From poem, to where a lot of you guys got to incorporate your life experiences, your family background, social groups that you've been a part of, the political values that you may have, and your personality and personal traits. All right? So now when she is a writer, you kind of pour yourself into your writing, because now you're forming your opinions, your thoughts that go along with your identity. Okay? So today, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna have you read this poem. We're gonna read it as a class. All right, it's called Still I Rise. It's by Maya Angelou. We're going to break down this poem in context. So like I said, I want you to pay attention to what we know about her and her background that we saw in her little bio. And then we're going to read this poem and pretty much break it down. All right, Maya, can you give me a hand, please? And Raphael. Gabriel, sorry. I want you to take out a pen or a highlighter, or a pen and a highlighter. Alright, as you get your papers when you have it, as you can see, there's spaces and it's broken down into paragraphs, or what we call stanzas in poetry. All right, each paragraph has that space in between the group of words. I want you to remember them. All right, it should be 9. At the very top, you're going to start with 1. You should see a space, then you're going to number the next section 2. Space, the next section 3. So it looks like paragraphs. So each paragraph you're going to number just like we're annotating. It should be 9. So you use that stanza number as a quick reference to find words. Give me a thumbs up if you have your paper number. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Tina, thank you, Ivy, thank you. All right, so before we read the poem, I want to go over a couple of vocabulary words that you may not have heard before. All right, number 1 is the word haughtiness. All right, that means to be arrogant or superior. All right, haughtiness. I want you to underline haughtiness. It's in stanza 5, very first sentence. Does my haughtiness offend you? You're going to underline the word haughtiness. Our second vocabulary word is going to be sassiness. That's in stanza 2, the very first sentence. Does my sassiness upset you? That means to be lively and bold. Number 3 is beset. There's so much in my paper. Beset is in stanza 2, second sentence. Why are you beset with gloom? That means troubled or threatened. Troubled or threatened. All right, so I'm going to read while you guys follow along. All right, stanza 1. You may write me down in history with your bitter words, with your bitter twisted lies. You may trod me in the very dirt, but still like the dust, I'll rise. Does my sassiness upset you? Why are you beset with gloom? Because I walk like I got oil wells pumping in my living room? Just like moons and like suns with the certainty of tides, just like hope springing high, still, I'll rise. Did you not want to see me broken, bowed head and lowered eyes, shoulders falling down like teardrops, weakened by my soulful cries? Does my haughtiness offend you? Don't you take it awful hard? Because I laugh like I've got gold mines digging in my backyard. You may shoot me with your words. You may cut me with your eyes. You may kill me with your hatefulness. But still, like air, I'll rise. Does my sexiness upset you? Does it come as a surprise that I dance like I've got diamonds at the meeting of my thighs? Out of the huts of histories, shame, I rise. Up from a past that's rooted in pain, I rise. I'm a black ocean, leaping wide and welling and swelling, I bear it in the tide. Leaving behind nights of terror and fear, I rise. Into a daybreak that's wondrously clear, I rise, bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave. I am the dream and the hope of the slave. I rise, I rise, I rise. Come on, Carlos. All right, so this is a very powerful poem that she wrote. To me, it gives a lot of information that we learned about her and her choice of words and how she's expressing herself in her poem. All right, so what I want you to do is I want you to take a moment. I want you to read it back to yourself quietly, and I want you to take some notes on the poem, and we're gonna have a discussion in a second about who do you think she's talking to? Who is this poem for? What is she talking about? All right, so take about 2 or 3 minutes, read the poem back to yourself. I want you to underline some choice words that stand out to you about her identity, that correlate with what's going on in the poem, and also with her history, what we learned about her personally. All right, so you have about 5 minutes, go ahead. have about 1 more minute. All right, pencils down. Okay, so now that you got a chance to review the poem for yourself, all right, in your table groups, I want you to have a quick little 5-minute discussion breaking the poem down. All right, I want you to talk about what parts of the poem that you think talked about or spoke to her identity, who she is as a person, and how others may perceive her. All right, or what is their perspective of her, or who is she talking to? And some of the words, because she says, "You may trod me in the very dirt." Who is you? All right, does my sassiness upset you? Who do you think she's talking to? All right, who is this for? So like I said, take about 5 minutes. I want you to have a discussion in your table groups, talk about your perspective of the poem, and who do you think she was talking to, or what is it about, or how do other people perceive her? Can you join this group right here? No, she's gonna come over. Didn't come over. Anthony. Anthony. Your name, Anthony? What's your name? John. John your group, there went to me, right?